Hello, Mr. Gheorghiu.
Hello, how are you?
Good. We have now the game from 1963. What game was this?
Yes, we played a very important match against the Hungarian team, and it was probably a very good occasion to try to have a very good result because until 1963, the Romanian team uh, almost, every time lost or made a draw. I mean, even match against
Hungarian team.
the Hungarian team. The Hungarian team was a very good one. I mean, internationally, and it was clearly better than our team. I mean, it was stronger. And if he could beat Hungary, it was a very good success, international. So we tried, and finally we could win the match, and it was a very good result, and everybody was very happy, of course. Personally, I played against Grandmaster Portisch, who was one of the best players of the world in that moment. And it was my last possibility to see which was my personal form before the World Junior Championship, and if I was very well prepared. So I tried to
So it
play
was like a
against.
big test for you.
Yes, it was the last test, of course. And this game was the second game. The first one I played a very good game with black, and I finally succeeded to beat my opponent. It was very interesting, and this
Also
was
Portish.
also Portish. Yes,
Okay.
we played, each one played the two games against each other like this. So in our first game, I played with black. I sacrificed some pawns. Finally, I had a very good attacking chance, and okay, finally I won. And this was the so-called revenge for him. He tried
His
to
chance for a
to take
revenge.
the revenge with black. So because of this, we had a very tactical game. He played a very interesting variation with black, trying to improve his chances and take the initiative. And finally, the game will be very interesting tactically. You'll see.
Okay, let's start the game.
So I play d4. We have a Sicilian here, of course. And after d4, takes. And now, a small surprise. Queen b6 is not so
Popular.
usual for black. I mean, it's a very good move to try to surprise the opponent, and it was played from time to time by the Hungarian team. Their players, preferred this line and tried it, sometimes, in very important games. So knight b3, of course, knight f6, knight c3.
But why is this knight b3 a good, let's say, a
I mean, you
good
have
move?
to take in c6 is bad, because if you take in c6, you have nothing with white. And if you try to play c3, is a little bit passive, when the knight was in d4. And bishop e3 is not good because you lose the pawn from b2. To go back to b3 is not good either. If you go to b5, he plays immediately a6, and black is okay. So knight b3 is clearly the best move, of course. Yes.
Okay.
So knight f6, knight c3, b6, and now bishop e3, queen c7, and now a3. Okay, a3 is probably the best move, but you can play also immediately bishop d3. Ignore the threat, bishop b4. A3 is a very good move to prevent immediately bishop to b4.
So you said you could have played
Yeah,
directly.
you could play immediately bishop d3
Okay.
without a3. And after bishop d3, bishop b4 castle, we have another kind of position where black can probably take the immediately in c3 and have a better structure. He gives the two bishops, I mean the pair of bishops, but he has, for later on, he has a good structure, pawn structure. So I
Black.
preferred against Portisch because he was a very strong opponent. I played a3, which is okay, very good move, of course, probably the best.
Okay.
Yes, a6, and now with theory, everything is good from now on. Yeah, f4 is also a very normal move. White threatens to play immediately e5. If black allows it, white has a very strong initiative. I mean, you play e5 and then knight e4, and you control all the places, the central places. So d6, okay. So now bishop d3, b5, queen f3, bishop e7, castle, knight d7. Okay, knight d7 is a very interesting idea from Grandmaster Bronstein. Black has, he wants to try almost the same idea to exchange the knight from c3 with the bishop from e7 coming to f6 and then taking c3. That is the idea for black, Now, if you play, for instance, immediately the normal move, rook a e1, then that gives the possibility to play immediately bishop f6 and maybe take later on in c3. That is the black's idea, And now I played the move, which I consider very normal, of course, rook a d1, which doesn't give the same possibility because now after bishop f6, white can take immediately in b5 and wins,
With
the bishop, yes, immediately. For instance, bishop f6, bishop takes b5. If he takes in c3, then you take in c6 and you win a pawn, at least a pawn. And if you take in b5, then it's immediately, he loses immediately. This is the first idea. Now, if you take in b5, it's a big mistake. You take and then you take with check in d6, e5, and the position for black is destroyed, completely destroyed. Yeah, that is completely lost for black. Yeah. So rook a d1 is a very strong move, and now black has to play something else. He can't take. He can't play the same idea as before.
Yes.
Yeah. So we transpose in another kind of position. So bishop b7. Now queen g3, castle, of course. No. And now you move queen h3. That prepares the normal idea to play immediately e5, attacking with strong attacking chances the pawn from h7. The position is already very dangerous for black here.
But why you did the move from the beginning on h3? Why?
No, because you
are waiting.
You have to wait that the bishop from c8 comes to b6 to b7. You see, and to give time for black to castle. To have the king on the other side. And when the king is in g8, you have attacking chances with queen h3. So this is typical for this kind of position in Sicilian.
Because here actually you attack the
you attack
g7.
the pawn. Okay, if you take in g7 and nothing happens, white is clearly better, of course. So now he has to choose bishop f6, g6, or castle. The normal move is castle, of course.
Yes. So it was like a
it's a normal position from Sicilian. And now after queen h3, there is always a threat, against the black king, So now he has many moves, but the move played by Portisch is a little bit provocative, He played here knight c5, like, to see what happens. Okay, I give you the possibility to attack me, and we'll see if you succeed or not, So now you takes, and from now on, you have this very interesting position where white has to show that his idea was right, and all his pieces are very well placed against the black skin, and he has to attack. To see which is the best way. The best way, of course, is e5.
And the plan for black, beside the
black
defense,
has to defend here.
Defend only.
Well,
but
of course, yes.
Also try to attack maybe on the queen side.
Well, if he has time, but that comes very quickly on the other side. We'll see.